title said, this is my first week as a basic northern medevac, which means I am based out of Norway House, and our first trip's a bit of a weird one. Nope, wrong app. There we go. London, Ontario for a COVID repat. Manitoba was sending people out of province because our hospitals were full, and so this is someone who has recovered and is coming home. This is VFN. The plane itself isn't old, but the avionics are. We don't have the G1000 in this one, which is fine. It's just a bit of a adjustment after so long on the G1000. The real issue with VFN for this trip anyway is that it doesn't have the halo kit that most of our other aircraft do. So we can't go to 14,000 pounds, only 12,500, because it has smaller wheels and doesn't have the STC, which means less fuel. And London's kind of far for a King Air, especially with no halo fuel, especially with passengers and stuff coming back. So here is our route down to CYXU, London, Ontario. We're going to be headed right over Thunder Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, and then down. It's kind of a stormy day, though we aren't in it currently, and got some nice pictures of the outside here as we head our way down. Back from London, Ontario, we have our passenger. The jets you saw in the earlier pictures were actually for the Prime Minister and the opposition coming to London, Ontario. And as you can see out the front here, we have some storms. And unfortunately, unlike our G1000s, we don't have weather radar. We just have good old Sparky here, lightning strike finder, and yes, all those dots are lightning strikes. So this is how we're kind of picking our way through. We're going to stay visual on this one, stay outside of the clouds. Yeah, there's our hole. We're aiming for there. And this is where halo fuel would have been nice with the diverting and the winds. I mean, we have the legally required amount of fuel and all that on board, but it's just not as comfortable as it could have been had we had another 1,500 pounds of fuel on board. Clouds are beautiful, but you don't want to get underneath that anvil. Anvil means thunderstorm and can mean hail, can mean turbulence. So just staying up here and staying a good 10 to 20 miles away from those big clouds is really what we want to be doing. Great pictures though. Nice flight back. Autopilot in this thing isn't as great as the G1000 autopilot. It's just the old style that all the old King Airs have. And after a very long day, we are finally home. Even the jet which has been flying a lot lately. And now I'm ready for bed. We didn't even make it to base today. Welcome to Mosquitoville, as I call it, blood vein. Mosquito on my head. Gigantic Canadian bloodsuckers. I actually haven't been to blood vein in the King Air before. First time since I was flying the Navajo for SkyCare. And now I'm here in VFN, which is mine for the week, since I am a northern medevac for the week, Norway House crew. So I'm not critical care based out of Winnipeg, I'm based out of Norway House, Manitoba, on our low acuity basic care medevac. It was sunny in Norway House, not so sunny here, and it was a very short flight, only 30 minutes or so. We thought we were going to be able to just do a normal visual circuit in here, and we came down to our lowest available altitude and we were still in clouds, so we shot the approach and almost didn't make it, as in had to do a missed approach. But we literally, as the captain called out minimums, is when we broke out and saw the runway. So it is at exactly 1,300 feet. And looks like we are going to duty out in Winnipeg tonight, so I'll get to go home, which happened last night too, because we went to London, Ontario, which I'll either have shown in an earlier video or earlier in this video, depending on how much footage I actually have. This is day 2 of 7, and haven't spent a single night in base. It took us till day 2 to get to base because, like I said, we went to London, Ontario yesterday on a repatriation. Brought someone who had recovered from COVID back from Ontario back to Winnipeg. And then today we went to Thompson after we got to Norway House. Took someone from Norway House to Thompson. Sat all day in Thompson because we thought we were bringing her home to Norway House, but they kept her at the hospital. So we went home to Norway House without her, figured we'd be done for the day. And as soon as we landed, we got told, you're going to Barons River. And then as we were on the phone discussing with the Barons River nursing station, the patient, we got another call saying, nope, no more Barons River, you're going to blood vein. So blood vein is where we ended up in the end, and where I'm going to get eaten alive by mosquitoes, even though I did put bug spray on this morning. So I'm probably going to go hide in the plane. Talk to you guys later. Nice it is to fly the G1000. There's just something about the old steam gauges at night. So this is a Google Earth of Norway House, and just so you guys can kind of see where it is on comparison to Winnipeg. This is inside our hangar. I have no idea why it's so green. It doesn't look like this in real life. So this is Norway House, Manitoba, and we're actually on the airport. This is our little trailer. And if you come down the stairs, right on the ramp, and there's the hangar. We got a little workout area, but this is where we stay until we get a flight. And as of right now, we've been fresh, so we have duty day ready to start for 4 or 5 hours now, but no call. So our duty day hasn't started, and that's the downside to basic. You get to do a bunch more flying and different flying, but you have a rolling duty day, so my 14-hour day doesn't start until they call us. So we're just sitting here waiting on call, never knowing when the day is going to start. The last 3 days we were really busy, but today doesn't seem like it. Now, as you could hear, it's quite windy out, so it's not exactly the nicest day out. There's a big old hole in that door too. And it squeaks really bad when you open it. Anyway, thought I'd just show you guys around a little bit. Talk to you later. The rest of the week ended up being more hectic like the first half of the week. And I got a few pictures, but not a whole bunch. But we got some nice clouds, did a bunch more flying, which was nice. I think we did 30 to 35 total hours for the week. We flew over 8,000 miles or something, I was told. And yeah, it was a nice change from critical care, where we do a lot more sitting. But this is not as structured, not as dependable as a critical care shift, where you know your start time and end time. So it gets some getting used to. It's more like trucking was. last flight of the week ended up taking us to Little Grand Rapids. Beautiful sunset, and then on our way home. Thanks for sticking around. I know this was a longer one, but I wanted to get the whole week into one video. Thanks for watching.